Welcome to the Butterfly Empire. It is me, your Butterfly Queen, and today we are covering Mary Jane Vangilder. It's been covered on Unsolved Mysteries, all the good stuff. She's been missing since March 8, 1945, missing from Willard, Ohio. She is endangered missing, born November 19, 1911, 1912. She's 5'5", 165 pounds, Caucasian female, brown hair, brown eyes. Mary Jane has freckles across her bridge of her nose, and she may have scars on her shoulder from when she was struck by an airplane propeller. That's weird to say. Most people are dead by then. She has decaying or damaged teeth at the time of her disappearance. Her maiden name is Croft. Okay, so Mary Jane was born in West Virginia, attending school through the 8th grade, and married her husband, James Leslie Vangilder, in 1929. When she was 17 years old, the couple had 7 children, 2 of whom were stillborn, and Mary Jane did not work outside the home. James was an alcoholic, and Mary Jane was alleged he was abusive towards her. The Vangilders separated in 1943. Their children stayed with James, and Mary Jane initially moved to an apartment in Fairmont, West Virginia, taking waitressing and clerking jobs to support herself. At one point, she allegedly invited James to take the children and move in with her, but he declined. Late in 1943 or early 1944, Mary Jane moved to Ohio. She initially lived in a 300 block of Woodland Avenue in Willard, Ohio. They moved to Trucks Street in Plymouth, 7 miles south of Willard. She may have also lived in Sanduck Street in Plymouth. On March 7, 1944, Mary Jane took a job as a storekeeper at the Air Force Depot in Shelby, Ohio. She was promoted to junior warehouseman on May 31st. In February 1945, she filed a request to be transferred and reassigned as a height lift and forklift operator in the labor pool. She never got reassigned, however. On March 8th, 1 year, 1 day after she started working at the depot, she requested immediate release from her job, citing the reason as added household duties. Okay. She gave her address as a post office box in Willard. March 8th is the official date of her disappearance, although a former associate reported seeing her in Willard a few weeks later. While she was in Ohio, Mary Jane maintenance contract with her eldest daughter, Anna, then 14 years old. By mail, she sent letters, clothes, and war bonds. In 1945, she wrote to Anna asking them to mail her war bonds back to her. Anna returned the war bonds a few weeks later. Mary Jane mailed Anna her last $25 war bonds. With no note, all contacts with her family abruptly stopped after that. Mary Jane filed for divorce on February 14, 1945. So, happy Valentine's Day. Here's a divorce. Mwah. Beautiful. Her divorce petition accused James of extreme cruelty and gross negligence of duty. This phase, a common one used in divorce proceedings, is defined in Ohio as failure to provide mutual respect, fidelity, and support, both emotionally and physically. On November 23, 1945, back in West Virginia, James also filed for divorce. The court records indicate that Mary Jane did not respond to the petition, either in person or through attorney. November 26th, the West Virginia divorce was granted, with James getting custody of her 5 children. He later remarried. On April 4th, 1946, the divorce petition Mary Jane had filed in Ohio was dismissed because she failed to show up for court. The court costs were deducted from the sum of money she previously deposited. Misty, can you talk today? Apparently not. The court costs were deducted from the sum of money she previously deposited with the court. This is the last sign of her. Since 1945, Mary Jane's family has occasionally investigated her disappearance, and even wrote to the FBI on multiple occasions, but they did not have jurisdiction to open the investigation. James died in 1985, and the house he stayed with Mary Jane burned down not long afterwards. Nice old house is freaking burned down so much. Have you ever noticed that? No matter which house you're on or in, it always burns down. The letter writer said Okay, missed a part. In 2005, a newspaper in Plymouth published a story about Mary Jane's disappearance and asked anyone who remembered her to contact her family. A man who had been 13 years old in 1945 saw the article and wrote to Mary Jane's children. The letter writer said his father and two older brothers had worked at the Air Force Depot at the same time Mary Jane did, and that she was friends with him and his parents. According to the man, Mary Jane could not drive, and during 1944 and 1945, she often got a ride to work with his father and brothers. The witness could provide no valuable information about her disappearance. However, Mary Jane's surviving children and grandchildren still hope to learn her fate. She was reported missing to the Shelby Police Department in 2018, 27 years after her family last heard from her. Police think foul play is a strong possibility in this case, as they don't think Mary Jane would have completely cut ties of her children or family members. Her case remains unsolved. Which also, there's got information that there is updates on. I did have it all updated and ready, but somehow it closed itself. Okay. He said the Shelby Police Department received a message in October 2018 from Mindy Wilson, who reported her maternal grandmother, Vangilder, is missing last seen in Shelby in 1945. Turner, a Shelby police detective, opened an investigation on October 10, 2018, seeking answers. He said that today he generated 107 supplemental reports spanning thousands of pages. On January 30, the detective announced a conclusion to the case had been reached. It took a vast amount of people to get where we are today, he said. I have a lot of people to thank, all of whom were instrumental in getting to the resolution that we did. Turner presented details about the case and in its conclusion Monday morning. Okay, the Van Nales home in West Virginia burned to the ground in 1986, taking any of her remaining possessions with it, he said. Theorizing she could possibly be a Jane Doe, an unidentified woman, Turner utilized several resources, including Missing Persons Database and FindGrave.com, to begin his investigation. There were cases that pinged my interest, as an unidentified person had similar physical traits as Mary Jane, and the circumstances surrounding the discovery on unidentified people could be a candidate for the Vangilder. From the beginning, Turner said he wanted to publicize his investigation because he values public input and assistance. I was fortunate enough to do several podcasts on her case, as well as being featured in numerous newspaper articles. I was able to locate Mary Jane's military service files and letters that Anna May, her eldest daughter, wrote in 1940s to 1950s to the FBI. After receiving the military file, Turner said he published the document online. Turner said a civilian sleuth who wished to remain anonymous reviewed the military file with a fine-tooth comb and directed him to page 17 of the document. When Mary Jane was promoted to high lift fork operator, she took the position from Mr. Percy Sabran. He trained her. This name was among dozens of other located throughout Mary Jane's military file, but it was this one alone that proved crucial. According to the research, Percy Sabran died on April 14, 1969. Further investigations revealed that Sabran married Mary Jane Sabran, who was born in 19... Okay. He was born on November 19, 1911 and died on May 31st, 1990. According to Turner's research, he said both Percy and Mary Jane were buried at New Forest Cemetery in Louisiana. Together, they had 2 children. Percy Jr. was born 9 months after Mary Jane left her position at the Wilkins Army Air Force Depot. This was probably the reason for her listing of added household duties. Okay. Bobby provided me with photography showing her grandmother in the late 1970s or early 80s. She told me that she didn't know much about her grandmother's life and that this was not discussed. Furthermore, Bobby and her siblings provided a document with Mary Jane Sabran's signature compared to the Vangilder signature, which showed distinct similarities. So, December 2023, Mary Sabran took a DNA test showing her ancestry relation to Mary Jane's daughter, Anna Rager, and granddaughters Mindy Wilson and Misty Granny. That's me. I'm Misty. Hey, Misty. Members of her family reported Mary Jane died of colon cancer in 1990. Told me that when Mary Jane was dying, she told her that there was something she couldn't tell her and that she could never find out. Yes, they thought that she was speaking gibberish. What is unknown, what will probably never be known, is why Mary Jane decided to leave her family behind in West Virginia and start a new life elsewhere. A family who loved her, cared for her, and missed her for 79 years. What it shows is that her decision can be revertible through time and distance, and effective generations of immediate family descendants, that our choices in life need to be made and considerable in how it will affect those who we love. Okay, so wrapping that up, she pretty much left, got her new name, remarried, had children, moved on. Cute. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. Hope you enjoyed.